Epstein Files is like the bad, creepy uncle.
I was watching all this drama about Super Bowl,
The social media addiction trial in California.
and suddenly it was all over the TikTok. Hashtag intelligent trolling. The person who didn't say any single word in English. How we could react on some strange thing, you know?
I'm going to walk around with Emmanuel Macron's aviator glasses. Stop. Did you just doom scroll, watch a get ready with me video? Almost buy a jumper you don't actually need and pour wine like it is a survival skill. Same.
I'm Nina, tech evangelist, investor, serial social entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and I'm absolutely obsessed with starting and running impact projects.
And I'm Maitri, storyteller, international journalist, a former TV anchor, media founder, and someone who's mildly obsessed with connecting politics, business, and the chaos all around us. This is your sanity break, where we're trying to make sense of an insane world just like you.
Welcome to our group chat. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Nina? So much to talk about. There's been so much news this last week. Everything from, the Epstein Files is like the bad, creepy uncle giving the gifts that keep giving and giving, never ending. Then you have this whole crackdown around the world on journalists like me. Jimmy Lai, for example, the Hong Kong media mogul who's gone to jail for 20 years. Basically, it's a life sentence. And then you have this humongous, massive trial that we kind of talked about, hinted at in one of our episodes, was the social media addiction trial in California, where YouTube and Meta are basically, they're going to have to come out and say why they're not addictive to people, young people, especially with all the mental health crises. Just the negative flow of news. What was on your radar this week?
Yeah, there was like so many moves to the right of so many countries who electing women leaders as well. You probably already heard about that. US put the June deadline to set a peace between Ukraine and Russia. And I don't want even to start, but there are so many conflicts and wars happening in Sudan, in Yemen, in Nigeria. So not only in Ukraine, obviously.
It's everywhere, right? It's like you switch on the news or you open your phone and it's just negativity left, right, and center.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I think everyone around the world tuned into this really happy sight. Whoever thought that, American football and the Super Bowl would get this much attention in the last couple of years that it has? But it's happy, right?
Exactly. And I want to talk about something that that could just cheered up me a bit, because all this news is, as you said, is very depressing, very tough. Yeah. So I want to talk about something that actually make us both a bit giggle, and great that you bring Super Bowl, because I was watching all this drama about Super Bowl and Trump. So help me to understand. They have incredible performer, Bad Bunny, right? Who is number one right now in the all US chart.
Like last week, in the world.
Exactly. Last week we just talked about him, that he was the first singer who won with the Spanish ensemble the Grammy, right? So that's incredible. So super popular, and he's performing together with Ricky Martin, with Lady Gaga. Incredible show. I watch it, right? And the US media and Trump is going wild about that, saying something like, "Oh, there was no single word in English." That and what, and then that they as well creating some parallel show, right, with some brum 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 barum. I even can pronounce their names, singers, right? Oh no, I know one, Kid Rock, who you will talk about Kid Rock, but like why they on earth even doing that? Can you help me to understand?
I think everything is politicized now in the United States. Every single action. It's not the first time you've had a show that's Spanish at the Super Bowl at halftime. You had Shakira. Oh, by the way, Bad Bunny, this is not his first Super Bowl. He was singing with Shakira in 2020 when Shakira did this whole
Here we
show
go.
with J-Lo. So it's not the first time, but they have to politicize it. They have to make it about identity and how English is the language. I mean, it's a very right-leaning kind of debate that they're having about it. But the funny bit is how many people don't realize Puerto Rico, which is where Bad Bunny is from and where Ricky Martin's from, is an American territory. Everybody in Puerto Rico is an American citizen. They just don't speak English. There are 40 million, maybe even more Spanish-speaking people in the United States. But at this point, at this juncture, because the government is pushing so hard for this illegal immigration and ICE, it's just become a very sensitive topic. So, I mean, Turning Point USA, the place that you were mentioning, that they had this alternative halftime show, they decided they were going to give people an option if they did not want to watch brown people on stage, which is just weird because they had Kendrick Lamar, who was as black as you can get last year, and his show was amazing. It was the biggest Super Bowl halftime show ever. It's been superseded now by Bad Bunny, and you're getting like hit from everywhere, from Sierra Leone and Nigeria to the Chinese, literally doing classes to learn the song, the lyrics. They're literally videos of Chinese people learning how to do this so that they can watch the Super Bowl halftime and sing along. It's strange, but it's political, it's sensitive. But I just love, Nina, the way he brought some joy. No political statements into that halftime show, just a celebration of his culture. It's like I felt proud. Like I can say I am proud to be an Indian and I love celebrating my culture. Everyone should celebrate culture, and then it brings us all together, right?
Yeah, although, there was one viral moment, we could call it political moment. At least this is the way how the TikTok picked it up.
God bless America. Sea Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, México, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, las Antillas, United States, Canadá.
Bad Bunny made a shout out about Canada, very enthusiastic shout out during his performance. And suddenly it was all over the TikToks. Everyone talk about that, appreciating that. But I think there was even more countries, right, that were with the flags that was behind him.
There was like a really cool shot. And I think we can play that video.
Amazing. I really love it. Really love it.
I love it because he named literally every country in the Americas, North and South.
Yeah.
The only problem was everyone was celebrating how he brought all the Americas together, saying they won, except everyone who was sitting and watching in Belize. You're talking about, Canada becoming a big, viral trend from Bad Bunny's show. Belize. There were people sitting in Belize putting up videos with their passports going, is he going to say Belize? And then he didn't say Belize. And they were like, so all these videos of people looking so disappointed. But it's still joyful. I think it's absolutely joyful because you need a little bit of joy in people's life. And I love that last sign that he put up, about love and hate.
But how many people actually watch alternative show, and how many people watch Super Bowl?
You mean the Turning Point alternative show with Kid Rock, the guy who, representing family values with lyrics that talk about, wanting to have sex with underage girls? Well, and the other people who, like you said, no one knows. Who are these people? No clue. It was quite bad. I think if I look at the number, the official numbers that they've come out with were 5.2 to 6.1 million people watched this alternative show. I think it was aired on YouTube and a couple of other places. The official numbers from Nielsen, which manages the viewership on TV, they're not out yet, but they have given an estimate. Now, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show last year was the biggest ever Super Bowl watch party ever.
Yeah.
This year is going to beat that already because the unofficial number, it's going to be 22. It was 22 times larger than the Turning Point show because I think about 135.4 million people tuned in. That's bigger than last year's show. And these are just the unofficial numbers, which they estimate would either be inching higher or would be around that level. So it's not going to drop. 135 million Nina, versus
Yeah, yeah.
6.1 at the max.
Without even saying that number one, Spanish is the second biggest language actually in the US. But I would say, like, all of that thing that Trump was mentioning, that, the person who didn't say any single word in English, but that was not the only one thing what Trump was actually posting on his social media. There was another one, very big one.
Oh, yeah. You mean after he posted that Bad Bunny was the worst show that he'd ever seen? I don't know what he was watching, because 135.4 million people at this point disagreed with him. Somewhere around midnight Washington time, somebody posted from the White House account this awful meme of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama with their heads put on, it's an AI video put on apes, like the worst racist trope you can ever come out with. And then basically the White House goes, you're all like, screaming about nothing. You're just, calling it racist. It was just a joke. And then at some point, I think the entire world went a little bit mad at him, including Republican senators, Nina. And then they pulled it down, saying, oh, some staffer put it up. And I want to know who the staffer is and how he's just, he, she, it is allowed to just post whatever online. But the weird thing is he never apologized. Donald Trump never said, this is the worst thing you can put out there. So racist. At least say, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
He just said, oh, it wasn't funny. I don't know what to say.
He mentioned that, that if you investigate, you would know that originally it was coming from the cartoon King Lion. There was like
Lion King, yeah. Supposed to be like, the lion, the lion sleeps tonight. I don't know. You can justify it all you want, but this is the president of the United States. I mean, you expect better, right?
Exactly, but I really like the response of Obama Foundation. They have like really amazing, like really hard-taking video about them.
Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, girl of the South Side. For the past 25 years, you have not only been my wife and mother of my children, you have been my best friend.
Married for 30 years. Sounds like a long time.
The first time I met Michelle, I was a summer associate at a law firm. She was already a young attorney. She was cute. She had a great sense of humor, a great presence about her. I figured out pretty quick that I wanted to ask her out. Our first date, I took her to the Art Museum at the Art Institute.
We spent the whole day together. He was showing me all facets of his character, and we took a nice long walk.
Kind of romantic.
Michigan Avenue.
I offered to buy her ice cream, and I think that is what put her over the top. That's where she said, this guy knows how to treat a woman. What I love about my wife more than anything is she knows that the best and most important legacy of anybody's life is making sure that your kids turn out all right. They have good values. They're kind. They're caring.
I'm proud of Barack not just because he's a wonderful president, but he's maintained a solid foundation for our family.
This was part of the deal, that if we were going to do this together, there were some things we would sacrifice for, there were other things we wouldn't. And making sure we were there for each other, that's something we wouldn't sacrifice.
I think we should put it up because this actually speaks to leadership today. And I think that is really important. It's a bit like saying Bad Bunny was such a great cultural leader. I think the Obamas reacted like you would expect a world leader to react. I think that was just such an elegant response to, I don't know, tacky.
Exactly. And I love another one that he's listening to Bad Bunny since 2020, and then he is showing every year him and Michelle dancing with different songs of Bad Bunny. That was a really cool response. I really love it.
I think that was more than cool. I think they started out with elegance and then they went, oh, let's try some snark, because obviously Donald Trump doesn't like Bad Bunny and everyone else does. So let's tell everybody we've been fans before he got famous. I love it.
Intelligent trolling.
Intelligent trolling. That is a good one. Oh, I love it.
Hashtag intelligent trolling. What do you think about that? Actually, you who are right now watching us, like write in the comments. We would love really to hear from you.
Did you watch the Obama video, both the White House one, and then did you manage to get to see the Obama Foundation reaction? If you haven't, watch it and tell us what you think. But guess what? I think the Obama Foundation are not the only ones doing intelligent trolling, Nina, because the best trolling, the most awesome trolling that happened during the Super Bowl was Anthropic. I mean, do you remember the Pepsi Coke wars? The AI companies are doing the Pepsi Coke wars. Anthropic released this amazing video. I think we need to get people to watch it.
Hey, can I get a six-pack quickly?
Perfect. That is a clear and achievable goal. Would you like me to tailor a personalized workout plan?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me personalize this for you. Let's start with your age, weight, and height. Whenever you're ready.
5'7", 23 years old, 140 pounds.
Got it. I'll create a plan that focuses on aesthetic strength training. But confidence isn't just built in the gym. Try Step Boost Max, the insoles that add 1 vertical inch of height and help short kings stand tall.
What?
Use code HEIGhtMaxing10 for big discounts.
What's the difference between me and you?
Oh, that is so bloody funny.
I love it. I love it. I mean, this is very smart. This was Pepsi Coke, but as well, there was Audi and Mercedes. So it's remind me actually both those styles. It's really, really cool. But not only with amazing advertising, they as well came up with amazing news, like really dominating all the world tech headlines because they have 2 major launches, right? The first is the new model, Opus 4.6, that was focusing and created for developers, and literally everyone started to talk how amazing it is. Now everyone could code. You and me could code. So maybe we could finally create a website for our podcast, you know? It just will take us a couple hours. No, maybe actually with this new model and the tool, you know, we could make it very fast. And, you know, you could just tell with your voice what to do and then model doing everything for you. Are we not living in an amazing world? I think it's incredible. And there was another one like coworkers and other tools that make market absolutely exciting.
I mean, it's really exciting. Going back to the fact that they latched onto the Super Bowl, made fun of, you know, OpenAI and their ChatGPT, making money from advertising. Thank God they didn't touch on the porn bit that's coming in, erotica and on ChatGPT, and then saying, oh, but we don't charge for it. I'm going to wait to see whether Anthropic actually, with Claude, stays free of ads or all of the other things that the other AI companies do, because they're sounding very good right now. But then life tells you that, do you want to trust tech companies too much? But for now, I'm laughing and I'm kind of happy for them because they're seemingly what OpenAI was a couple of years ago. So excited to see these tools. Not that I know what to do with any of them, but I am doing AI courses, Nina. I am trying to get smart because I don't want to be out of a job.
Yeah, well, I still have a whole, like, you know, belief in humanity that we will last a bit longer, like, you know, so, but it's a good thing to do.
Well, storytelling is never going to go out of fashion because the one person that honestly should have run an ad during Super Bowl was probably Amazon for Melania, because I just have to make a mention of this. You know, we were saying, oh my God, the first weekend, it actually did better than we expected. It's like record breaking. In week 2, box office revenues are down by 67%. So whoopsie.
Oh my God.
Whoopsie, maybe should have run an ad, but let's not talk about negatives. Let's talk about what else is making us happy. I don't know about you, but I watched the Winter Olympics Open just because it's in Italy. I wanted to see what the Italians did. There was such a furore about, you know, ICE being in Italy for the Olympics to do security. Ended up being like a couple of people stuck in a room. So that was hilarious. But it was a beautifully done ceremony across like 2 cities, which, you know, you expect from the Olympics, right? Like happiness, joy, togetherness, team spirit, all of that. I think the world really needs it. So that says a lot that both the sports events have really taken off. But what I found interesting was the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni's comment that
What?
basically there were people protesting ICE at
Okay.
at the start of the ceremony and just before. She basically called them enemies of the state because they were making Italy look bad in the world, on the world stage. And I found that a bit disingenuous because we're in Europe. We're allowed to protest. We
Exactly.
have freedom of speech here, no matter what I think the White House says. I just found that very strange, but it was such a happy, joyous event, except for this was funny.
Yeah.
JD Vance
Oh.
got booed. So much booing for JD Vance. I mean, the poor man
Yeah.
goes everywhere and gets booed.
Not at Munich Security Conference that we've been with you.
I'm going this week, and I want
Yeah.
to see, who turns up and who gets booed at the MSC this year.
Yeah. I guess the next episode we'll have a talk a lot about MSC. But I think this was the only one when he wasn't boomed. Everyone was silent, in the room.
Pin drop.
We Europeans, we are improving in terms how we could react on some strange thing.
I'm going to walk around with Emmanuel Macron's aviator glasses so that I can breathe behind. That'll be fun if I can get a hold of one. But no, I think that was interesting. But did you see the whole story about this really famous downhill skier, Lindsey Vonn?
Yeah, I heard. Why she even compete with Asia? Why? That was all, to me, it all came as a surprise.
I think it's sad because she is the world's best downhill skier, and she tore her ACL, went downhill. I mean, she shouldn't have been competing, in all honesty. I don't know what her coaching team was thinking. Her dad came out and said maybe because she broke her leg going downhill. That was horrible, painful, heartbreaking completely. And then her dad's come out and said, hopefully this will get her to stop competing. I think they really want her to stop now. But it took away the limelight from her teammate who won, which was a little bit sad. Yeah. But oh well, everything else is going well. Norway is leading on the medals tally. We're only on a couple of days in.
We'll see how many gold medals Europe will be able to get this time.
Think about it. We keep talking about these sports events, and it's because when we started this show, remember what I told you about the Epstein Files and how it's just constant, the bad gift that keeps giving. The names that have come out, it's going to literally drop a government on its knees in the UK where I am.
Yeah.
That's all people can talk about. Mandelson, potentially, Peter Mandelson, who was in the Epstein Files, probably is going to bring down the Labour government, or at least the Prime Minister. We don't know who's going to be the Prime Minister if he goes. There's lots of scurrying around in Westminster right now. And you're seeing that reaction play out in Europe. The Norwegians have had so many people go.
Exactly.
You've had people from India, Slovakia, the guy went. In India, South Africa, they're saying, hey, he was a middleman. There was nothing big deal. We wanted to get conversations. But what's really creepy about it is just how deep and how corrupt these power circles are. And I think that's what's shocking all of us.
Exactly.
Right?
And to me, there's two things that stands out. And this is what all my friends are discussing as well. And I'm wondering what your take on that. It feels like there is all the most popular and famous people from the different industry who served for many years to many of us as role models are in this list, right? And it's the way how all of us reacting to that. We are shocked, we are triggered and confused.
Bannon, Musk, Summers, Gates, Clinton, Tish, Melania, the guy who directed Melania.
So there is one thought that is flying right now in the air that there is some conspiracy. Why those old files will actually drop now? Why are so many of them? How suddenly all the people that we know in these files? Some people think that they're doing this to silence something, to silence basically, or to take attention from other things, another important thing that might happen in parallel or prepared in parallel, like another big war or whatever. I don't know. What is your take on that?
They do these tranche dumps of these files, right? And it's usually timed with something else. And I think it is a distraction tool because first, you don't redact the names of the victims. You have no empathy for the victims as you're doing that. Then you're forced to redact the names of the victims. Then you put out the names of all of these big big people, quite a few of whom literally just happened to be in the same room as the guy, or, met him at a party or met him for business. I mean, there's two distinct groups that work through the Epstein files. One is the group that participated. They are as culpable and they should be criminally tried, but we don't know who they are because that bit is all redacted. Then there's this dumping of 3.5 million files with people whose names are put out there, and then everybody goes, oh, they're in the Epstein files. But it could be something as simple as Doran Mamdani's mother, Mira Nair, the filmmaker, who was at a party for her movie, and he happened to be there. It's muddying the waters to quite an extent, but what is the one through thread for me as a journalist looking at it is saying Epstein had very deep connections and networks. He was a middleman, a power broker, and the number of people from around the planet who have interacted with him as a power broker to get access into other places of power. That is what is the takeaway from me from this particular dump. Are the victims going to get anything out of this dump? No. I think the victims are going to have to fight really, really hard, and we need to keep pushing that they get their justice. But I think what this really reveals is the level of corruption.
Level of corruption. And another thing is the way, for instance, how the European leaders react. So they step down from their power position, right? And at the same time, we know that like US power, right, is
nothing's happened
on their places. Nothing happened. They creating the new jokes, new memes, etc. But nothing happened, and that's shocking. One of my friends actually said that all that was happening just for the reason to confuse people to understand what is good or bad in the end. Because when so many bad things happening, and they are heartbreaking things in those files as well, right? And it's become the kind of new normality, and people like digesting that. When something another bad happened, they reacted to that already in a different way. And because we don't see any shift in the US power, no reaction on actually the situation, I think that's what make us all believe that could be some conspiracy behind that.
I mean, conspiracy is one thing, but there's no consequences. I think that is the interesting bit. We've had a royal prince here in the UK literally be shoved into another fancy house, smaller.
Exactly.
That's his consequence.
That was hilarious.
I mean, it's funny and it's sad. I don't know what to make of. That's actually a really wonderful take that she has given you. But on that note, what do you think of the Epstein file dumps? We really want to understand if you think it is muddying what our value system of what we think is good or bad. Should there be consequences? Drop a comment below. We want to know what you think of the Epstein files. Or are you just bored of them all? I don't know. It's an interesting one. Let's talk about hot or not, because this section is my favorite part. So this is rapid fire, folks, and you tell us as well which stories you found hot or not and why. So my hot or not section, Nina, I'm going to kick off this week, okay, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We've got Sanae Takaishi, the Japanese prime minister, who's won a landslide victory in Japan, and Laura Fernandez, who won in Costa Rica the elections by huge margins. Both these women lean to the right of the political spectrum. Hot or not?
Absolutely hot. And what I love as well about those stories, especially on the Japan side, that the opposition of the Japan of Laura Fernandez was endorsed by the Trump. And there was a rumor, or the joke in the internet that for all future leaders, if you want to win a new election, just ask Donald Trump to endorse your opposition, and then it's done.
You're onto something, girl. Okay, next one. Next one. Australia's communication minister wants Roblox, the children's gaming platform, to justify how it is addressing sexual and self-harm material for kids, because turns out Roblox ain't very safe for kids.
Hot as in news, not as the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, you're a mom and your kid's probably going to have to use Roblox, because guess what? They have it in schools as well now. Very strange. Okay, American TV anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, being kidnapped. All this weirdness going on about her ransom and where she is. AI somehow manages to make its way into that conversation. Hot or not?
you're hot or not always so tough, you know?
I'm a journalist.
It's like breaking my moral compass inside because I always want to say not, but then as a journalist, obviously you understand it's a hot story. It's interesting to read, to discuss, and so on. So hot, I guess.
I just hope her mom's okay because she's like over 80.
Yeah.
It can't be good. Then there's the caricature trend where, you enter into any AI system that you're using, ChatGPT, Gemini, and the command is basically make a caricature of me with everything that you know about me. I have mine up. So here you go.
Absolutely hot, super funny. I did it as well. By the way, did your picture look like you or not? Did ChatGPT actually ask you to give your own picture so he make it more precise?
On GPT, you have to upload a picture of
Upload,
yourself,
yeah.
and then it like
But-
creates one based,
Yeah.
of everything
Based
around
on
you.
everything. Yeah. I have mine too, so I upload it. So you definitely we should put it so everyone.
Oh,
can
that's
see it and
that's
if
a
you
really
want.
cool one. That's very cool. Hot or not,
So-
Nina?
Hot, definitely hot.
All right, your list now. Go on.
Yeah, now my list. The numbers of Trump's names mentioned in the Epstein file was more than Harry Potter names mentioning in the all books. There is. Yes.
No, shut up.
I mean, the book's called Harry Potter and then Harry Potter is the main actor, right? So you could I don't know how many millions mentions.
I just learned something new today. Oh my God. Okay. No, that's definitely
Hot or
very
not?
hot. Very hot.
Okay. I really after I have a podcast, I need to check the numbers.
Verify,
Well-
verify. That is very important. Go on, next one.
Let's talk about Anthropic again. So Claude Cowork just triggered the SaaS apocalypse. How 11 plugins wiped out 200 billion in market value overnight. Hot or not?
Oh, geez.
Okay, I have some stuff for you too.
Not because that just sounds awfully boring, but I guess hot if you're invested in AI stocks in the market and if you are in the AI field. But for a regular Joe like me who is now taking AI classes to make sure I don't lose my job, not.
Okay. I have another one tough for you.
Go on.
Nuclear power makes a quiet comeback. So Europe and Japan are accelerating actually nuclear strategies, with UK, your home country, extending reactor lifetimes, and Japan now restarting the world's largest nuclear. Hot or not?
Very hot. It's going to be really important for national security. It's going to be very important so people don't forget about renewable energy as the world shifts more and more right, so that people don't go back to fossil fuels. We need something that's already established, and new nuclear plants are very hard to build. It takes 30, 40 years. So hot.
As a mom, I want to finish with another viral trend that we observed in the YouTube and TikTok, last uppy trend.
That talk about you don't realize the last time things happened. And so we were talking about this. Go sit down, G. Yeah, sit down real quick, because I'm going to do something with Bubba. So, I just want you just to say uppy and put your arms out. And I'm going to pick you up.
I want an uppy.
And I'm going to hold you for the last time.
I want a hottie.
Your pants are a little big, so.
Hottie.
Okay.
Are you videoing now? Oh, you're video live?
Upbeat. Oh, okay.
The last time I'll pick you up.
That's not how why is that the last
So
time?
cute.
Because you're big as I'm not going to pick you up again.
Right? When
Oh, I
the
love this.
parents
It's so
are
cute.
there, very, very already adult and big kids. It was very probably hard for their backs. Anyway, hot or not?
Very hot. I am not a parent, and it made me tear up. This video.
But you're the kid. You could go to your
yeah,
mom.
yeah. My mom's like
No,
5 foot
no.
nothing. I don't think she could pick me up when I was 11, so it's not gonna happen. But hot, just because it was cute and happy, and happy news makes me happy.
Yeah, agree. All right, squad. Your turn to tell us what you thought was hot or not. Drop a comment wherever you are listening. Maybe next time you will officially to join our group chat.
Catch you on your next sanity break here with us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you take a little break. Don't be shy. We'll be listening.